Well, today we are diving into a text that claims to decode some of those whispers.
We are.
We're going to be exploring the idea of the infinite spirit,
Yeah.
which is profound and maybe a little intimidating.
A little bit. Yeah.
We'll be unpacking excerpts from the Urantia book.
Okay.
And this is a text that claims to be a direct revelation from celestial beings.
No less.
No less. Don't worry, we're not here to debate if it's actually written by angels.
Right.
Think of it more like we're strapping on some cosmic hiking boots.
Okay.
And exploring a completely new terrain of thought.
Our compass for this expedition is the Urantia book's take on the infinite spirit.
Oh.
A force it describes as central to the universe's very existence. That's a heady concept for sure.
It is.
But that's what we're here for. And just like any good expedition, we're approaching this with a sense of open curiosity.
Absolutely.
The Urantia book tackles some of humanity's oldest questions. How did it all begin? What is the nature of the divine? But it does so in a really unique way, blending spiritual revelation with a surprisingly complex cosmology and a very detailed origin story.
It definitely throws you right into the deep end.
It does.
It starts by introducing the divine word, which is another name for it. It says the eternal Son. And according to the Urantia book, this Son gives voice to the thoughts of the universal Father.
Okay.
Thoughts so vast and all-encompassing, they're described as infinite and absolute. Now imagine for a second trying to actually hold infinity in your mind.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
It is.
And yet, this text is telling us that these infinite thoughts needed a way to become reality, to transform from pure concept into the universe we know.
It's like the old saying, ideas without action are just dreams.
Yeah.
The Urantia book calls this driving force that turns divine thought into action the infinite spirit. It's described as the third essential aspect of the divine, alongside the Father and the Son. And get this, all three are considered co-eternal.
Okay.
Co-eternal meaning they exist outside of time as we understand it,
Right.
with no beginning and no end. It's a concept that has popped up in various forms across cultures and philosophies throughout history.
That blows my mind a little, I have to admit. It's like trying to imagine a universe before the Big Bang. It almost breaks your brain.
It does make you reconsider everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And this is where the Urantia book takes another fascinating turn. It describes a specific moment when the infinite spirit becomes self-aware, a moment it calls personalization. Suddenly, we're not just talking about an abstract force, but a being with consciousness and agency.
It's like this vast cosmic energy suddenly wakes up and says, I am.
Precisely. And according to the Urantia book, it's from that point that the stupendous drama of creation really kicks into gear. Think of it like this. The stage of space is set, the script, the infinite thoughts of the Father is ready, and the infinite spirit steps in as the ultimate director, bringing the whole grand production to life.
And what does the director do first? They make sure everybody knows who's in charge.
Right.
And it's exactly what we see in the text. The infinite spirit, in its very first act, recognizes and pledges loyalty to the Father and Son, establishing what the Urantia book calls the cycle of eternity and the Paradise Trinity.
The idea of a trinity might sound familiar from Christian theology, but the Urantia book puts a fascinating cosmic spin on it. It's not just a theological concept, it's presented as the fundamental blueprint of reality itself.
This is where it really starts to feel like we're building an entirely new model of the universe. And the text doesn't shy away from specifics. It goes on to describe the creation of what it calls the Havona worlds, which it claims make up the central universe.
Now imagine a universe so grand, so dazzlingly complex, that it makes everything we can see from Earth with our most powerful telescopes look like a grain of sand. That's Havona, at least according to the Urantia book.
And here's where it gets really wild. The text says that the infinite spirit eternalizes, basically comes into being, at the exact same moment that Havona is born.
Wow.
Making them, in a sense, co-eternal. It's like this incredible cosmic chicken and egg scenario, except they both come first.
It really challenges our linear way of thinking about time, doesn't it? Instead of a universe that starts at a single point and expands outward like the Big Bang Theory suggests, the Urantia book proposes a universe that always was and always will be with the infinite spirit as an inseparable part of its very essence.
I don't know about you, but all this talk of eternity and infinity, it makes my head spin a little.
It's a lot to take in, that's for sure. But even if our human minds can't fully grasp these concepts, there's something about contemplating them that stretches our imagination. And it opens us up to a whole new way of seeing reality.
It's like staring into the night sky and realizing just how vast and mysterious the universe truly is. But here's what I find interesting. Even as the Urantia book paints this picture of a universe beyond our wildest comprehension, it also takes pains to emphasize that the infinite spirit, this force that's woven into the fabric of everything, is also a distinct being with its own unique character.
That's what I love about this text. It embraces those paradoxes. The infinite spirit is both immeasurably vast and intimately present. And to really get a sense of its multifaceted nature, the book uses a whole bunch of different names and titles, each one highlighting a different aspect of who or what the infinite spirit is.
It's like a cosmic resume. For titles like Universal Spirit, Supreme Guide, Conjoint Creator, Divine Executive, it goes on and on.
It does.
I'm curious, which of these titles really jump out at you?
Well, the one that always gets me thinking is Conjoint Creator.
Okay.
It speaks to the idea that creation wasn't a solo act,
Right.
but a collaborative effort between the Father, the Son, and the Spirit.
So it's like a divine team effort.
Exactly. It reminds me of those incredible works of art or architecture that took the combined talents of countless individuals to create, each one playing a crucial role, bringing their own unique skills and perspective to the table.
And in this case, we have the Father providing the grand vision, the Son articulating that vision as the divine word, and then the infinite Spirit stepping in as the one who takes those words and makes them flesh, so to speak, transforming them into the tangible reality of the universe.
Beautifully put. And it's not just about creation in the grand cosmic sense. The Urantia book also describes the infinite spirit as a constant presence in the universe, orchestrating events, guiding the evolution of planets and people, ensuring that everything unfolds according to the divine plan. Think of it like a cosmic conductor leading an infinite orchestra.
Okay, so conjoint creator makes sense to me now. But what about divine executive? It sounds a bit more, well, corporate, doesn't it?
It does have a bit of a boardroom ring to it, doesn't it? But think about what a good executive does. They take a vision, a strategy, and they find the most effective ways to implement it. They oversee all the moving parts, delegate tasks, make sure everything is aligned and moving towards the same goal.
So in that sense, the infinite spirit is like the ultimate project manager, making sure the universe runs smoothly and stays on track.
Precisely. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Urantia book doesn't just present the infinite spirit as this force of order and efficiency. It also emphasizes its role as a mercy minister, a being of profound compassion and empathy.
Now, that's a side of the infinite spirit I'm really curious to explore. We've talked about the Father's love, the Son's mercy, and now the Spirit's ministry. It seems like each member of this Paradise Trinity has their own distinct way of interacting with creations, like this idea of a multifaceted God, right? It's revealing itself like layer by layer.
Yeah.
So how does the Urantia book actually distinguish between those ideas? I mean, where's the dividing line?
It is subtle, but if you look closely at the text, it seems to suggest a kind of flow between these aspects of the divine. Imagine this way. The Father's love is the boundless source. The Son's mercy is that love pouring out to the universe in a way we can actually grasp, right? And then the Spirit's ministry is where that love and mercy become tangible, active, a force for healing and reconciliation.
So it's like a relay race of divine energy.
Yeah.
Each runner passing the baton to the next, ensuring that it reaches its destination.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
And what's the destination in this case? Well, the Urantia book would say it's us. Every soul, every corner of creation touched by this flow of divine love and mercy.
That makes me think about those moments in life when you feel a kind of inexplicable peace or connection, a sense that you're not alone, even in the midst of challenges. It's like a whisper of something beyond yourself, offering comfort or guidance.
And that connects to another crucial point about the infinite spirit, its omnipresence.
Okay.
While the Father might choose to be present in certain ways or at certain times, the text suggests that the Spirit is everywhere, always, like a boundless ocean in which we all swim.
Okay, that makes sense. But the Urantia book also gets into some pretty dense terminology here, making distinctions between the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit, and the Infinite Spirit. Honestly, it makes my head spin a little. How can we understand those differences?
It can be a bit of a head-scratcher. But here's one way to think about it. Imagine the Infinite Spirit as this radiant sun, pouring its light and warmth across the entire cosmos. Now imagine a single ray of sunlight, a focused beam of that same light and warmth. That's kind of like what the Urantia book describes as the Holy Spirit, still connected to the source, but operating on a more localized scale, within a specific universe, for example.
So it's still the same essential energy, but focused and directed in a particular way.
Exactly. Think of it like using a magnifying glass to focus sunlight. You're not changing the nature of sunlight itself, you're just concentrating its power. And what's remarkable is that even though the Urantia book emphasizes the infinite spirit's omnipresence, its vastness, beyond our comprehension, it also insists that this being is not some cold, impersonal force. It's a person capable of individual interaction and relationship.
Hold on, how can something be everywhere at once and still be a person? Feels like those two ideas clash a bit, don't they?
It's definitely a mind-bending concept.
It is.
But maybe, just maybe, our limited human definition of person is what's tripping us up. Perhaps the infinite spirit can interact with each of us as individuals, even while simultaneously being present throughout the cosmos. Think about it like this. A musician can play a single note on an instrument, creating a unique sound, even while the air that carries that sound is everywhere, surrounding everything.
So the infinite spirit is like the air we breathe, always there, yet capable of being shaped and expressed in infinite ways. It makes you wonder if we're constantly surrounded by this divine presence, whether we realize it or not.
Now that's a thought, isn't it? And maybe that's part of what the Urantia book is trying to tell us. That the infinite spirit isn't some distant deity, but an active, engaged participant in the universe. A force of love and mercy constantly weaving through our lives.
That brings us back to the idea of the infinite spirit as a mercy minister, an idea that feels both comforting and a bit awe-inspiring at the same time. It makes you wonder if maybe, just maybe, we could actually perceive the work of this divine presence in our own lives if we just knew where to look.
Exactly. What if those moments of serendipity, those unexpected blessings or strokes of good fortune, are glimpses of the infinite spirit at work, subtly guiding us towards a greater good?
It's like that quote by Albert Schweitzer. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle.
Beautifully put. Maybe that's the invitation the Urantia book offers us to see the universe and our place in it through the lens of wonder, recognizing the possibility of the infinite spirit's touch in every moment.
It's a truly awe-inspiring thought to end on. And who knows? Maybe that perspective shift is all it takes to start noticing those whispers of the divine a little more clearly.